What's going on, guys? It's the Kentucky Prime Picks podcast. My name's Devin Hood. I'm here with Gibb, Stewart, Burke, Austin, and Biddy. We're going to look at the college football playoffs, the Final Four. We're going to look at our top 25 college basketball matchups, and we're going to look at the NFL Week 18. All right, guys, we're going to start off with the college football playoffs. What we got, Gibb?
So, starting off Thursday at 7:30, we got Notre Dame and Penn State. Notre Dame's the favorite with a 1.5 point spread, minus 125 odds, and the over/under is set at 46.5.
I'm going to say something. I hate that both of these teams are there.
Hate it.
Yeah, despise it.
I mean, that's worst case Ontario.
Depends.
For me, as a fan of neither of these teams, I hate them both. If it would have been anybody but Notre Dame and Penn State. But it's not.
Well, I was going to say they doubted, Notre Dame. Well, they had Notre Dame as a favorite against Georgia. We doubted it.
We did doubt it.
And they came out and
took care of business.
Took care of it.
What was that stat we said before the podcast? The favorite is 7-0.
7-0.
Favorite is 7-0 in the college football playoffs.
6-1 against the spread.
Yeah.
It's almost like they shouldn't have expanded it to 12 teams and just done the 4 best. I mean, I think we'd kind of end up where we're at now as it is, right?
Yeah.
Could have,
Probably,
but
yeah.
I mean, we have two teams that wouldn't have made the top 4
Right.
that are in right now.
I remember
Ohio
TCU
State.
getting beat to death, though.
That
in the
is
top
true.
4. I mean,
That's
Actually, none of these teams have been. They're all. Let's see, Texas number 5.
So, yeah, none of these teams would have been in the top 4.
none of them would have.
That's wild.
Yeah, and here we are. All top 4 got beat out.
That's a sad. I mean, if you think about it, the top 4, none of them are going to the finals.
It's that bye week. Got them.
I mean, I really think that kind of plays into it.
You don't play for several weeks at a time. You kind of lose your rhythm.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, Georgia didn't look like the same team against Notre Dame that we seen, at the end of the season. And if you listen to the podcast last week, like Austin said, Georgia was a team we were very high on.
Yeah.
I
kind of had them winning it.
I would have lost my house.
Georgia didn't lose to Northern Illinois, so, I mean,
Right.
can't blame anybody.
No. And they looked really good against Texas in the SEC championship.
Beat them twice.
Yeah, beat them twice. I mean, the first time was way worse than the second time, but still, I mean, took care of business. And here we are, no Georgia in the college football playoffs anymore. But Notre Dame, Penn State is unfortunately what we're with, right?
Unfortunately.
Read those odds back to me, Gibb.
Minus 1.5 point spread, minus 125 odds, and 46.5 over/under.
Who's the favorite in that?
Notre Dame.
I'm going to rock with Notre Dame.
I mean, the odds aren't that separate. Penn State is plus 104. So,
Yeah.
I mean, it's a pretty tight matchup on the money line. And the spread being 1.5, they have it to where it might be a tight game.
Yeah, but they had 1.5 Georgia Notre Dame as well.
Yeah, that's why I said might.
Yeah.
We doubted them before.
Yeah, well, this will be the week, though, that we say they're going to win and they lose.
Then Penn State comes out and wins by like 30.
I hope that's not the case.
But, out of all of this, I do like the over.
What's the over-under, Gibb?
46.5.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I do like that. I mean, apparently Notre Dame has a little bit of defense about them, holding Georgia to a low amount of points in their game yesterday.
I don't know how much of a factor it is being on second string and anybody else that may have opted out because I don't keep up with Georgia athletics.
Right. You would think they would have had their
Surely
Full-
nobody else.
full
Yeah,
time.
like, surely everybody else would have played,
Yeah.
but having Stockton and may have
been the
been
difference.
what is it, the weak link in the
Yeah.
chain?
He was pretty good against Texas, boys.
Yeah, he did.
I think that hit may have changed him.
He got rocked a few times against Notre Dame too.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a guy that's not scared of contact. I don't know if that bodes well for a quarterback, but he's not scared of it. Yeah, I think, unfortunately, I think Notre Dame's probably going to win that game.
I think so.
What do you think, Bert?
Yeah, I'm liking what I'm seeing from Notre Dame here recently. I got to roll with the Irish.
Yeah, I mean, the lesser of two evils for me there is Notre Dame.
There's no way I can pull for Penn State.
No.
No way.
No, so I hope Notre Dame does win, and I think they will. Gib, you agree with that, or what do you think?
Yeah, I believe they will. I think I might pull an alternate spread on this one though.
Yeah, what do you think?
I think I'm going to do a 9.5 point. I think it's going to be at least a 10-point game.
Really?
He's
Really?
talking crazy.
I mean,
Crazy.
You think Notre Dame wins by 10?
Yeah, we've seen crazier happen.
We have. I mean, I don't hate that as far as, looking to make money, but that's a spread.
That's a spread, but
I
Penn
got
State's offense is kind of, they're pretty good.
They scored 31 against Boise State, and then 38 against SMU. I mean,
That's not.
They score.
I mean, they're not as good at defenses, but still, that's points on the board.
Yeah.
What did Notre Dame score against Georgia?
It's going to be hard to beat them by 9.5, in my opinion.
I would maybe do 3.5.
I was thinking 2.5.
2.5, yeah, 2.5 to get to that
I
3.
think it's going to be decided by a field goal.
I might be just different, but I'm saying Penn State wins, and then I hit the over.
Yeah?
That's what I'm thinking, yeah. I mean,
I
know they're the favorite, and they're 7-0, but I don't know. I don't think Notre Dame's that impressive.
I'll be completely honest. My bias against James Franklin is the only reason I will not pick Penn State here. If they had a different coach and they were in this exact same position, I would probably take them. But I just can't pull for James Franklin.
So you're saying expecting your decision, James Franklin is?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I don't hate the over-under.
no, I'm definitely taking the over on it.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean,
Yeah.
what? The over hits at 47 points.
Yeah. I could see this being like a 27-20.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
can see that.
Yeah.
I'd roll with the
Literally,
over.
27-20, it hits.
Yeah, I don't hate the over. I think, Stewart said he'd go Penn State. I'm still going to go Notre Dame just because of my bias here. But, Penn State didn't play Georgia. They didn't hold Georgia to, 10 points, 13 points, something like that?
Did not.
Yeah, they played Boise, which...
Yeah, I mean,
Better than
you can say
Northern
what you want
Illinois.
about... Yeah, it is, but you can say what you want about Boise. They're...
the moment was a little too big.
Yeah. Shouldn't have been there,
Yeah.
per se.
Now, I don't think that, factors into the Heisman race.
No,
I think Ashton Genty, if you've been listening to any of these, I think he still should have won that.
for sure.
Even
Completely
after
snubbed.
losing.
Completely snubbed.
Yeah. Because, Travis Hunter wasn't in the college football playoffs at all,
Was not.
But he had more snaps.
but he had more snaps. So, yeah, I think, I'm going to go Notre Dame on that one.
I agree.
Gib, what we got next?
Next, we got Ohio State and Texas. Ohio State's the favorite with a 5.5 point spread,
Really?
minus 225 odds, and over under set at 53.5.
Huh.
I really want Texas to win.
I want Texas to win, but I don't think they will.
I don't think so either.
Texas struggled to put up points against Arizona State.
And then almost let them come back. Really? Depending on who
They
you talk to,
should
should
have
have
lost.
won.
Yeah, they should.
I say that
Texas
running back
should've
got
lost.
sick for
And
Arizona
Ohio State has a really good defense. I don't know. And they're the only team that could put up points and actually beat somebody
They
by
beat
a decent amount.
Breaks
Yes.
off Oregon.
Yeah.
Yes,
dog
who was
walkers.
undefeated the entire season.
Yeah,
They're the only team in the entire college football playoffs that didn't look fraudulent.
I agree with that. Yeah, Texas, if you would have stopped that game at halftime, they dominate Arizona State.
Mhm.
But to let them come back like that, and then, like I said, depending on who you talk to, Arizona State may have should have won that football game.
Targeting.
Oh, yeah.
So I wasn't super impressed with Texas over the
It
weekend.
took a fourth down. Texas was at 4th and 13, I believe.
Yeah,
And
fourth.
they had to convert that
to
even,
win.
Yes, to even not lose.
Yeah,
Just to go to the overtime. So one play decided that whole thing.
yeah.
I don't know if Ohio State would have struggled against ASU.
What is
No.
Ohio State's plus money on that, Gib?
They're minus 225.
Ohio State?
Yeah,
Big favorites.
big time.
I'm sorry, I'm stupid. I thought you said earlier Texas was the favorite. Shows how much attention I'm paying.
Slammed Ohio State.
Yeah, that's okay.
For
That's
sure.
that's why I was kind of talking crazy. Cause I thought you said that Texas was 5.5 point favorites.
No, Ohio State is.
Oh, okay, that makes a lot more sense.
I'll say I may have messed it up, but yeah, that Ohio State is the favorite.
Okay. Well, yeah, never mind then. I was going to throw my house on Ohio State this week. So, yeah, I think Ohio State wins that game,
Pretty
For sure.
easily, probably.
and I think that probably sets up if everything holds true that we're talking about here, potentially an Ohio State Notre Dame matchup. And I don't think either Notre Dame or Penn State, whoever wins that game, I think Ohio State's probably going to win the national championship.
Yep.
Yeah.
This game feels more like a national championship than Notre Dame Penn State would.
Yeah.
I would much rather see Ohio State versus Notre Dame and Texas versus Penn State or something like that before we get to this point.
Yeah.
Because this feels like it's for all of it.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, whoever wins this Ohio State-Texas game, it's theirs to take at that point is what it feels like.
Yep.
Do you like any alternate spreads? You think it's going to be a dog walking? You think it's going to be close?
Well,
it might get ugly.
With how good they looked against Oregon,
It might get ugly quick.
I would say I could honestly see this being a 2-score game.
this
No
is
problem.
one where your 9.5 points may come into play again.
I mean, that might be a 13.5 point.
You're talking crazy.
Yeah. I think I would maybe alternate that to 9.5.
Yeah.
Texas by 9.5 is plus 440. Or wait, no, who were we looking for?
Ohio State by
Yeah.
9.5, yeah.
By 9.5 is
Minus
Plus-
1,000.
138.
Wow.
There's not even
There's
much
no value in
yeah.
that.
No.
No, they already know that's pretty likely.
Yeah, I think I'll throw it in there just because it's plus money at that point. So you're getting away from that, minus 200 number that we were talking about with an Ohio State money line.
I mean, Ohio State on the anytime touchdowns has 3 athletes that are minus odds to score a touchdown.
That's pretty good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's not looking like it's going to be a very even affair.
If you got it, you got it.
If you got it, you got it. And this kind of feels more like a March Madness type thing. Whoever's playing the best at the end of the season, right, Biddy?
Yeah.
If you got it, you got it. Wasn't his fantasy football team. Biddy got knocked out in the semis, right?
Yeah.
But did get the third place
Don't want
win.
to talk about it.
Had a bye and didn't win a game.
It's a lot worse when you say it like that.
Look like the Cowboys.
So they're choking on chicken bones.
Well, since we're talking about it, I did win the fantasy football league this year.
Yeah,
he
bring it
knocked me
up.
out.
Yeah.
Yep.
You knocked me out.
We had. It was a good playoffs for us in the fantasy football league, though.
Speak for yourself.
I said in the playoffs,
Consolation
Bert,
bracket don't count.
not in the 10th place
not
game.
not the losers bracket.
No, not the game for last.
I lost. Shouldn't count. My opponent never paid his dues. So, feel like that should be an automatic win.
Yeah, he's getting.
But I'm not complaining.
No, it doesn't do any good at this point, right? You really just
No.
got to regroup for next season.
Yeah.
Fire a couple coaches.
Yeah, make some changes at offensive, defensive coordinator.
Yeah.
Head coach has to stay.
Yeah.
Stay away
see,
from
I-
the Green Bay players.
They were trying to fire him, but he's just unfireable.
Unfireable. He's a really good coach. Just had a bad team.
It does happen.
That happens.
You've made it to the playoffs before, right,
I
Bert?
say I came in third last year.
Yeah, so
It happens.
you got the ups and downs of the game.
Now, I'll admit I didn't have the best draft, so that didn't help me none. So
Which, what did the ESPN rank you after your draft? Was that an A grade, a B grade?
I think it was B grade.
A B grade. See, that was a lot higher than me and Stewart,
Yeah,
who were
it's
playing
crazy.
in the championship, and they gave us C's and D's.
I gave me a fat D.
They told me my strength for my team was my kicker.
I didn't have any strengths. Not even my kicker.
I had Lamar Jackson. They don't think he's a strength.
That's crazy.
He's the
I mean,
best
That's so much
quarterback in the league.
disrespect.
Yeah, number one position. I had Brock Bowers, not a strength.
He's probably tied in
He was
one.
a rookie.
He was number one. Yeah, he
He was a. Ain't no one knows what's gonna
Trey
happen.
McBride was number 1.
for tight ends. Well,
No,
Brock
well,
Bowers was
two.
there at
He had
He was 2.
Which
Was
in
he too?
tight end world is
Yeah.
a massive gap.
which
Yeah.
like week 15 was probably the last time I looked at the actual player rankings, and he was one at that point. So
But Trey McBride, he got his first touchdown last week.
Week 17. Yep.
wow.
But he gets so many targets, he just gets
He got 17 targets that game. That's
Oh,
kind of
shot.
unheard of.
crazy.
Which when we get to the NFL portion of all this, we'll look into maybe some of those things that have to happen at the end of the season for these players to get some bonuses. And we'll talk about that, maybe put those into a parlay as well. But with our college football playoff lineup, I think that's going to be, me personally, Ohio State, Notre Dame. Even if it's Penn State, I still think Ohio State takes that championship.
As much as I hate to say, yeah, they're winning.
Which kind of
Unless Texas beats them.
and unless Texas wins, then I think I think the champion comes out of that game.
Yeah.
Which, kind of off topic here. If Ohio State wins the national championship, how much heat does that take off Ryan Day?
I'd say a tremendous amount of weight is lifted off his shoulders.
Their fan base was pissed.
They hate him right now.
Yeah, I mean, the loss to Michigan, now there was talk about, hey, we're going to get rid of him.
Yeah, after one loss.
That's crazy. That's not a good look.
No.
Like, this Ohio State team we see now, there's no shot. I think they lose to a Michigan team like that.
No. Which Michigan, did beat Alabama
I
in the
guess
bowl
they
game.
did beat Bama, but
Bama's down this year, though.
Bama, yeah, they are down.
I wouldn't think Michigan could go out there and just beat Oregon to death.
I mean, was it Kalen DeBoer lost as many games as Nick Saban did? Like, just about every year he was there, yeah.
Probably. Yeah, he probably lost as many over the course of 5 years or something.
Yeah.
What was their record? How many games did they lose? 3 or 4?
3?
It was probably 4 after this.
I know they lost to Vandy, lost to Oklahoma, lost to Michigan.
If you count bowls, then I think 4.
Lost
Yeah.
to Georgia, too, didn't they? Or they beat Georgia?
They beat Georgia.
They beat Georgia.
Yep.
That's kind of how it goes, though, right?
That's how it goes.
Got a first-year head coach. You can't always be at the top of the mountain.
Can't always beat the top.
That's true. But you could definitely beat Michigan, an unranked Michigan.
Should
I
be
would
Michigan.
think.
Should be Michigan.
That was a really weird bowl matchup, I thought. I mean, Alabama was ranked, don't quote me on this, 12th,
11th.
11th?
Yeah.
Okay. And then you've got a 7-5 Michigan team.
Unranked.
That just sounds like a weird bowl matchup, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I know they can't really necessarily put record and record against each other when you get to these bowl matchups, but like Ole Miss and Duke, both 9-3. Ole Miss obviously beat the brakes off Duke last night because I think Lane Kiffin was trying to make a point.
Yeah.
But that was, if you look at just Duke's playing Ole Miss, they're both 9-3. That makes sense. And then same thing with this game we're watching right now, Minnesota, Virginia Tech. 1-7-5, 1-6-6. That kind of makes sense.
Right.
But then you see Alabama ranked 11th playing this unranked 7-5 Michigan. It seems like
It was 9-3.
against
Snubbed 9-3.
Yeah, well, somebody
versus a 7-5 that their only real win was Ohio State, but somehow they did it. So
yeah.
That game was also a monsoon the entire time, too, so that had a lot of
That's
effect
true.
on gameplay, too.
Yeah. Which Milroe has declared for the NFL draft.
He has.
So
but I feel like you love a running quarterback
in the weather like
in
that.
a
Yeah.
rain. Yeah, that should help you.
I mean, he was fumbling snaps. Nobody could hold on to the ball, so it definitely has an impact on the game.
Yeah.
It's wet like that.
But it would affect Michigan too.
It would. It
Right.
would.
So I think Bama just, I don't know. I feel like they still should have won that.
Yeah, and that was one in the bets. I didn't place a money line wager on that. I went for the over, and then obviously the monsoon
Rain.
comes down, and that kind of kills that momentum altogether.
Yeah.
Not something you can prepare for whenever you're that far out putting those bets in, but
Mm-mm.
that over under seemed like one that I really thought was going to hit. I think
Right.
it was like 44.5.
I feel like in perfect conditions it would have hit.
Oh yeah, I agree with that completely. All right, moving into our college basketball lineup. We got quite a few top 25 matchups that are happening this weekend. First one we're going to talk about is the first one on the schedule for 11 o'clock in the morning.
Early game.
We got a weird early game for some college basketball. Number 6 Florida at number 10 Kentucky. Currently, Kentucky is a 3.5-point favorite. Is that what you're seeing, Gib?
FanDuel has it slightly different. They have it at 2.5.
2.5? Okay, well, we'll go off the FanDuel odds because I'm looking at ESPN, so I'm seeing all the ESPN bet odds. So we'll just have Gib read the odds as I read these games out.
All right, so Kentucky's money line odds is minus 156, and the over/under is set at 165.5.
What we think?
Florida's money line is a plus 130. So it lining up to be a tight game.
Yeah. We already talked about this on the Kentucky Prime Sports podcast. If you've listened to that, we all think Kentucky wins this game, except probably the Louisville fans. You all probably think Florida's going to win. I do think Kentucky wins. That 2.5 line, I think I would take Kentucky in that.
Yeah, I think I would.
Yeah, I don't see it being decided by a single.
No, yeah,
Single
a
bet.
I
possession.
feel like it's a 2-possession game.
Yeah, I feel like this could be like a 6-7 point.
Yeah.
Obviously I'm going to say it's a 6-point, 7-point win for Kentucky, but if you're on the other side of that going Florida, I still see it as that 6-7 2-possession game at that point.
Yeah, because it's going to come down to the wire, and it's going to come down to the trailing team, whoever it may be.
Yeah.
Is going to be trying to throw up some crazy shots and going to end up missing one of the last
And they're going to foul, and they're going to send them to the free throw line. Hopefully, Kentucky's on the winning side of that and hits their free throws.
Yeah. Which I do think Kentucky's going to win that game. That's a wild top 10 matchup. First game of the SEC slate, though.
SEC's going to
11 a.m. too.
Yeah. I mean, when was the last time Florida was ranked this high?
It had to be back in the Billy Donovan days, I would think.
I feel like there was one year they were, like, 2019.
I feel like it wasn't terribly long ago that they were ranked pretty high in the top 10.
Yeah. But, yeah, number 6. I mean, this has been a game that we've seen, a ranked Kentucky, a ranked Florida. This has produced some memorable games.
Oh, yeah.
For sure. Like you say, going back to those Billy Donovan days, Joakim Noah, Al Horford.
Mm-hmm.
This kind of feels like, not necessarily to that level, but it kind of feels like it could be one of those games.
It's going to be one of those nail-biters for sure. It's going to be a good game.
It's going to be a dogfight, for sure.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Too early to be stressing that hard, though.
Yeah. Yeah, right. You want to open up the SEC slate with a nice little win.
Mississippi State, maybe,
I don't even know if there's one of those games in the SEC this year.
You're right. I don't think
As of
there
right
is.
now, I don't think so.
No, but, yeah, I do feel pretty good about the Kentucky 2.5.
Yeah.
I'm gonna throw in there that Florida hasn't been ranked 6th or higher since 2014.
Okay, 2014.
Okay.
Yeah. And I may be just thinking about this wrong. Were they like a number 1 seed in the tournament that year?
Yeah, they achieved the number 1 spot in the AP poll for the first time since 07.
Okay.
Since they won the championship that last 07.
Yep. I was thinking for some reason that, they got the number 1 seed that year, or a number 1 seed.
Who was the coach back in 2014 for them? It wasn't Billy Donovan, was it?
I don't think so.
Do some research real quick.
Yeah, I'll find it.
I don't know. Was it Billy Donovan?
I thought he left in
No, might have been Billy Donovan.
Was it Billy
Because I feel like whenever Kentucky was doing their coaching search this year, I'm looking at Billy Donovan's, record and everything like that. Obviously, I know, Billy Donovan's a great coach. And I feel like he was at Florida a lot longer than I remember him being there.
I believe that was over 10 years ago.
Yeah.
He had a down year in 14 to 15. He went 16 and 17, and then he went to the NBA.
Okay, so it was a lot longer.
Donovan.
Yeah,
it was the end of Billy Donovan.
Yeah.
It was his last good year.
So his last good year, they got the number 1 overall seed. Next year come in, go right around 500, and he cuts ties, I guess, at that point.
Yeah, it was his 19th season. They went 16 and 17. The next year after having the number 1 overall seed.
Yeah. That's pretty wild that, you don't think about Billy Donovan being at Florida for almost 20 years.
He was there for a long time.
And it's been a decade since this happened.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Time flies.
Yeah, it does. All right, next matchup. I'm looking at this one. Georgia at number 24, Ole Miss. What kind of line we got on that, Gib?
So, Ole Miss is the favorite by 4.5 points. They are minus 188 on the money line. And the over-under is set at 145.5.
Timeout before we actually talk about this. You said the over-under for Kentucky was 165.5.
Yes, sir.
I think the over hits in that all day.
I would say so.
Oh,
that kind of averages out about
Surely.
82, 83. It would probably be a shootout.
Yeah, I think this is going to be a high-scoring game. So now we can go back into Georgia, Ole Miss. One thing Gib had said before we started this podcast here tonight, Georgia sitting at 12-1.
Yeah, their record's looking pretty good for an unranked team.
But who have they played?
That's the question.
Yeah.
I haven't kept up
Ole
with
Miss
them.
has actually played some pretty good teams. They look pretty good.
Now, so last game that I seen about Ole Miss, they actually had lost to Memphis, though.
Memphis is a good team.
They are. They beat UConn.
They did. They went on a good run there in the Bahamas.
Yeah. I don't think Memphis is a bad team at all.
No, Memphis is a pretty good team.
Who has Georgia played to get that 12-1 record?
Georgia Tech, they beat them by 8. That's the only Power 5 I'm seeing besides Notre Dame. They did beat Notre Dame pretty good. It's Notre Dame. They're 4-5.
Notre Dame is one of the
They're
weirdest college basketball teams.
Yeah.
One
They
of
could be the
weirdest
best
college
team.
programs.
Yeah.
They may be really good one year and may be the worst team in college basketball the next.
They beat them by 21.
Wow.
Wow.
But Notre Dame's also 4-5.
That's
Yeah.
not convincing enough for a ranking.
No.
No.
I would say the only ranked opponent that Georgia has beat that I'm seeing is St. John's,
Yeah.
and that was early in the season, and that was a 3-point game.
Well,
The
that
game
was
before that they lost to Marquette by 11.
Marquette's a good team. They're
Yeah.
top 10.
Marquette's always a good team.
Yeah, they are.
I will say about Notre Dame, they lost to Elon.
Mm.
Musk?
Yeah, it has to be. I don't know another
They lost to
Elon.
Tesla.
But they lost by 7 points.
Wow.
That's
So,
not what you want to
I
see.
mean, I don't know if that's a quality win for Georgia there.
No,
not
I would
really.
say not.
They
you
lost
know.
to Rutgers, Houston, Creighton. It was a horrible 4-game stretch there. That was a terrible week for them.
Probably should think about disbanding the program.
Yeah.
I think personally, Ole Miss wins by 10 plus.
Yeah.
Take it to the bank.
What did you say the line was on that give for Ole Miss?
Minus or the what's your line?
Yeah, the
spread.
spread.
Minus 4.5.
4-0.
I would probably take the Ole Miss 4.5, especially because, like we've talked about, and we're going to continue talking about, in the SEC this year, I think a lot of it's going to come down to the home team, and this game is at Ole Miss. And let's not forget, Ole Miss's coach,
He's a really good coach, Chris Beard.
Chris Beard. You know, there was a time where I thought maybe he was going to be out of coaching himself. Had some domestic issues.
Yeah, off the court issues.
But, yeah, he had a good team before all that happened with the domestic violence issue. And, you know, he's at Ole Miss, traditionally not a powerhouse SEC opponent, but somebody that could be playing some good basketball. Yeah, I feel pretty good about the Ole Miss spread there.
Yeah.
What about the 145.5?
I feel like Ole Miss puts up points.
Do
They
they?
do. They do.
They do put up points. But like I said, they lost to Memphis, but that was a high-scoring game.
I say the overhits.
Yeah.
You're expecting each team to score about 73 points.
I feel pretty good about that.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think about that.
Definitely doable.
Yeah.
It looks like the under is kind of heavy. It's minus 115 versus the over that's minus 105.
Yeah.
Vegas is kind of leaning under.
Well, if anybody knows how to break up
Stay
a
away
bet,
from it.
it's me. So I'm going to go with the over. And anybody that tells that will lose together.
Yeah, everybody take the under on this one.
Yeah. Yeah, anything I say, do the opposite.
I'll take the over with you.
There it is. So, yeah, I think at Ole Miss, that's going to be a win for them. All right, moving into the next game. This looks fun. North Carolina at Notre Dame. Gib, you got that one?
Yes.
Is that a North Carolina 5.5?
6.5.
6.5. See, ESPN bet.
They always just want to be a little different.
Yeah.
The FanDuel weighs it differently, too. They got it at minus 102. Notre Dame's plus 6.5 is minus 120.
Really?
Yeah.
Hmm.
It's weird. It's
I-
way different.
I've watched a couple North Carolina games this year. I think they blow the 6.5, 5.5, whatever platform you're betting on. I think they blow that out of the water, especially considering we just read Notre Dame's last month.
That is true.
I mean, North Carolina,
They're coming off a dog walking from Louisville, you know.
they are coming off a dog walking. But let's not forget, they did beat UCLA. They played Florida tight at the end,
They
nearly
did.
won that game.
Still a very, very good team.
Yeah, still a
you
good
know.
team. I could see North Carolina running away with this one by 20.
Yeah, I could see that.
So with that, do you like the over at 155.5?
I don't know.
I would probably stay away from that over-under. Because
I would do an alternate spread. Probably
What? Minus 9.5. What?
probably
10.
10,
Maybe
Straight up
15.
minus 10.
maybe 15.
What
I
about-
really
That's
did, like,
crazy.
in
They
the,
lost to Elon.
yeah. He was
true.
running
It's
Twitter while he was playing in the
Yeah.
basketball
he
game.
was
That's
in
true.
he was on Mars. You know,
You know, you're onto something here. I think you're cooking.
What about a team total?
For North Carolina,
Yeah, just the North Carolina team total. Would you do anything?
76.
I'd say it's over 80.
Over 80.
I would say over 80. Like in the games that I've seen North Carolina play this year, their offense has been lighting it up. So I think, with as bad as this Notre Dame team sounds like they are, this is one,
it's going to get ugly.
Yeah, don't take this as advice. I would say over 80 is safe, but I would say this could be one where we see in the 90s from North Carolina.
Well, I will say that they don't even have an alternate spread listed.
Yeah.
On FanDuel, not yet.
In my mind, this just popped in. This may be, some future seeing stuff. 90-67.
I can see that.
Like, that's just kind of what's talking to me right now. North Carolina wins 90-67.
Don't hate it.
This game is tomorrow at noon, right?
Yes, sir. On CBS and Paramount Plus.
And they don't even let you bet the alternate spread.
Yeah, because they know it's going to get out of hand and they're going to lose money.
I think it's going to get ugly.
Yeah.
Tickets are as low as $21. That's also on the ESPN website. Anybody wants to go to South Bend tomorrow? Sounds like we can get in pretty cheap.
Yeah, I'm taking the spread.
Yeah.
If you're giving out tickets for $21, yeah, sure. Give me
Yeah,
the spread.
Scroll back up. So Florida and Kentucky, tickets as low as $78. I don't know where they're seeing that. That's not what Ticketmaster says. You're not getting into that game for $78, I don't think. But yeah, North Carolina, Notre Dame, tickets as low as $21.
That's a blowout.
That's a blowout. That's 90-67 all day.
It's going to get ugly quick.
Yeah,
Might even break triple digits.
Slam the over.
Yeah.
And spread.
Yeah, I agree with that. 110%. All right, Gib. Next game that I'm going to look at here, because we're going to skip DePaul, Villanova. We're going to skip William and Mary and Stony Brook. Well, there's not even a line for those.
Not worried about those till they sneak in the tournament or something.
Yeah. So the next one I'm seeing here, Arkansas at number 1 Tennessee. Arkansas has snuck back into the top 25, sitting at number 23 in the country. Tennessee obviously still number 1. This game is in Knoxville.
It's going to be ugly.
This has been one of our worst games so far with spread and money lines. It's pretty set in stone. Tennessee is minus 11.5.
Mm-hmm.
Their money line is minus 750. And the over-under is set at 143.5.
You think Cal's going to get beat by 12, though?
Yes.
Yes.
You think?
Yes.
Dude, Tennessee's good.
Tennessee is good. Rick Barnes has had his number for, I feel like, a few years now. I could see that one potentially getting ugly.
It's going to get ugly.
That's at Tennessee?
At Tennessee.
Oh, yeah. No, Cal's not winning that game.
Plus 520, you're not interested in that at all for the money line?
Not at all.
Not until it gets down to like 3 minutes left in the game and Arkansas's down 2. Then maybe I'm looking at it because at that point they're still probably plus 200.
Money.
Yeah. Yeah, they're still probably plus 200 at that point. That's when you sneak in there and make you a few dollars on at the end potentially. But I don't think it'll be that close.
No.
I hate to put a score number on this one because you never – I don't know. I feel like Tennessee's one of those teams that can beat you with offense or defense. So I could see this game being a 60-point game, or I could see this game, scoring in the high 70s, low 80s.
See, Calipari's teams can never score that high, so I don't think it's going to be that high score of a game as far as Arkansas is concerned.
I mean, the over-under is at 143.5, so they're expecting basically 72s.
Yeah.
In there.
Yeah, I mean, I could – if you told me this game finished, 72-58, that sounds, believable to me.
That would hit the under.
Yeah.
You also got to remember,
That would make sense.
Arkansas struggled that first half against Oakland at Arkansas.
Yeah.
So keep that into account whenever you wagering on the game.
Speaking of Oakland.
Let's not bring that
What
up.
about Oakland?
Cal also struggled with Oakland last year.
Yeah.
It's funny we're talking about Oakland. The other day I'm scrolling through the TikTok, Facebook, whatever it was, right? And I see Tyler Hero in his state championship whenever he was in high school.
I saw that.
As a senior, playing against Jack Golke.
Yeah. And Jack Golke beat him.
In the state championship. This hate for the Kentucky Wildcats from Jack Golke spans years.
It runs deep.
It runs deep.
He ran through probably 4 whole teams of Kentucky there before he got his chance.
Yeah, he did. I mean,
and he went off.
I think what's crazier, though, how long has Tyler Hero been in the NBA?
Years.
And this guy's
Just now
graduated?
Was
It
it
had
like
been
a
a good
senior
4 years.
freshman matchup?
No, that was
No
that was a
way.
senior matchup. I'm 90% sure.
Well, Hero's probably gone immediately, and this dude's probably stayed 5 years.
Yeah, I mean he got his full college experience.
Yeah.
Hero played at Kentucky
1 year.
17 or was it 18?
18.
18.
Probably.
Yep, it was 2018 because that was the first year we had like a transfer in the Cal here. It was Reed Travis.
Yeah.
Everybody's really excited about Reed Travis. We're excited about Tyler Hero. We're getting a shooter. You know,
Yeah.
Cal's not a big shooter guy at that point. And we get beat in one of the first games by Duke by like 30.
No, we got beat by Auburn that year, didn't we?
No, I'm talking about at the beginning of the season.
Oh, beginning of the season.
Yeah, it was 118 to 89. Kind of what's kind of popping into my head here.
Yeah.
That was the year Duke had Zion,
Yes.
R.J. Barrett, Cam Reddish.
Yeah.
The
That's a
same
nasty team.
classics you play every year. The same.
Champions
Yeah,
Classic.
Champions
Yeah,
Classic.
like Michigan State, Duke,
Yep,
Kansas.
Michigan
Yeah.
State, Duke, Kansas, Kentucky.
Yeah.
Played Duke that year. 118 to 87, 89 is what's popping into my head here. And we were, extremely high on that team. Like I said, Reed Travis coming in from Stanford. He was a grown man. You've got a returning P.J. Washington at that point.
Ashton Hagen's running the point.
Ashton Hagens, Tyler Hero, freshman Emmanuel Quickly,
Yes. I think.
and 118 to 89. That hurts.
Yeah. I'm trying to remember that.
Why did we bring that up?
Yeah.
How did that even get brought up?
You brought it
You
up.
said
though.
Oakland.
Yeah.
You went
You
down
said
that rabbit
no.
hole
You
on your
said
own.
Oakland.
He said,
I said Oakland.
Somebody said.
He brought up that
Speaking
Thorn.
of, Emmanuel Quickly, I think he came back. He was injured and he came back to the NBA last night.
Mhm.
I want to say he dropped 18 points and 14 assists.
Dude's been
Dude,
balling in the
Mayo
NBA.
Quickly's a baller.
Yeah,
He's
he
been
is.
balling.
Yeah, he's a heck of a player. And that, I hate to get off the topic because it's the Picks podcast, but that's what sucked so bad about the Cal era is you see these guys, not necessarily Quickly because he did stay a year, but these one and done freshmen, and then 2 years into the NBA, they're putting up 30
Ball
points.
Superstar, all
It's like you would be a junior in college right now.
and just be dominating the college level.
Yeah.
Gilgeous Alexander, for example.
Yes.
Shake, oh
Yeah.
my gosh,
MVP. As it sits right now, MVP.
yeah,
Bam
He's
Adebayo.
balling.
balling.
And that's why I like Arkansas.
I like Arkansas if
Cal
they're
gets done.
3 years. Yeah, no, Tennessee's going to win that game by a lot.
I say
Yeah.
plus 11.5. I say I don't think they're going to beat by more than 12.
I think they might get beat by 20.
Yeah, honestly, I'm not hating the spread though. Like, I think
Tennessee's
Arkansas is going to
okay.
keep it
They
closer.
can lose by 10 and it still cashes.
Yeah. What I would do at this point, I wouldn't take any of the spread. I would parlay some of these things we're talking about together and just throw Tennessee money line in with it.
Minus 750.
Yeah, but if I'm winning a band, it's going to take it to 1,200. And
Right.
then my 14 leg parlay misses, and I'm out $10.
But if you're going straight, plus 520 for Arkansas to win,
See, that's going to help the parlay a lot.
that's not that crazy.
But then my parlay's done at 1 o'clock.
That'd be like 2:30.
Oh yeah,
That much better.
maybe worse.
You might have a cash out option at that point.
Dude, speaking of cash outs, I've not been getting any.
Mm-mm.
I don't know what's going on with FanDuel. They're starting to hoard them. But, I would get a cash out every now and then, and it was, respectable. If I get one now, if it's, a $5 bet to win, let's just say $400, they'll be like, we'll give you $6.32.
Yes. It's like, I only need one more leg. And
Yeah.
like, no, sorry, $6.
I need a Saquon Barkley touchdown
Yeah.
from 4 weeks ago, and you're going to give me $6?
Yeah.
5 minutes goes by, and then they have it down to 28 cents.
Yeah, and then he
I had a
doesn't get a
cash-
touchdown.
I had a cash out last night on a $5 bet for 1 penny.
No.
1 penny.
I'm going to make the assumption since you had a penny cash out
You
bet
did
this
not win
week.
that bet.
I did not.
That was he had Georgia winning and a couple touchdowns from Georgia, I believe.
Yeah.
1 touchdown from Georgia and 2 from Notre Dame.
It just didn't happen.
None of them hit.
Which, if you did, tail anything we said last week about Georgia, we do apologize. That was a game
Who could expect?
I had the most confidence in that in the world.
Who would have doubted them against Notre Dame?
I don't know. I've been listening to some podcasts lately, and apparently everybody else did but us.
They didn't have their QB.
Well, it's easy to say the favorite.
Right.
It's so easy to say, oh, this was wrong with the favorite this week. The favorites never win the NFL.
No, never.
Never. The biggest favorite NFL lost for the first 9 weeks straight. You can't just go roll with the favorites.
No. Speaking of favorites, number 25 Baylor at number 3 Iowa State. Crazy. Iowa State number 3 in the country. What's our...
Last time they ranked that high, they had Georgia's Niang.
Wow, y'all took that back.
Dialed in.
So the lines for that is Iowa State's a minus 8.5. They are minus 430 on the money line, and the over/under set at 152.5.
Baylor's a weird team.
They've had their struggles this year.
Yeah, they've looked really good in some games, and in some games just wheels have fell off and they get beat by 30.
I think they're bummy.
I'm not going to argue with you.
This is kind of going off topic. Does that make you not regret hiring Scott Drew this past offseason?
I didn't want Scott Drew from the
You
beginning.
didn't want it from the beginning.
Didn't want him at all.
That was
As a Louisville fan, I kind of agree with that.
That was my
Scott
pick.
Drew.
You
has
wanted
shown-
Scott?
I wanted Scott Drew.
I wanted no part of Scott Drew. As soon as I found out, and, not being disrespectful here, how weird his family was,
Yeah.
I wanted no part of that from the beginning. But then they started talking about his family, and his wife didn't like Lexington.
Yeah, okay. Once I
Okay.
heard that, I was like,
Is
yeah.
she the coach or something?
The amount of wives that made off-season decisions this year for Kentucky was insane.
It was.
That's why we didn't get Dan Hurley.
That's right.
His wife didn't like Lexington either,
Yeah.
apparently.
But
Which
she
I'm
loved
glad we didn't get him.
Yeah. I guess I'm pretty happy about that one.
But yeah, so what'd you say the line was for Iowa State, Gib?
8.5.
Oh,
That's pretty solid. That's pretty high. I
yeah.
don't know. Maybe they still get that. Minus 430. Money line.
That's going to be another one that I just parlay in with some other picks. Iowa State money line. It's at Iowa State. You got to think that kind of bodes well. Tickets as low as $31.
Yeah,
I really
ticket
like
price-
that option.
That tells you a lot about what they're expecting out of this game.
Yeah.
You might as well slam the under at that price point.
If anybody wants to go to Oxford, Ohio tomorrow to watch Buffalo and Miami of Ohio, we can get in that one for $6.
$6.
That's what ESPN says. Right?
The beer would be 15.
Do they sell beer at Miami of Ohio? I feel like that's got to be a party place, right?
Sure.
There's only one way to find
There's,
out.
there's nothing else to do.
$6, we can find out.
It's going to cost us more in gas to get there.
For sure.
That doesn't count.
All right, Gib, what do you think about Baylor or Iowa State, though?
Honestly, I think I'm going to ride with the... Oh, I just lost it. It just updated. I think I'm going to take the minus 8.5. I'm going to keep it close.
Yeah.
But I'm probably staying away from that money line. Upsets happen all the time.
Yeah, I mean,
I
I wouldn't
get burned, especially in basketball. I always get burned by the upsets.
Yeah, I would. If you told me tomorrow that 4 o'clock rolls around and Baylor beat Iowa State, I wouldn't be shocked.
I wouldn't be shocked now.
I probably would just stay away from this game as a whole. That's me personally.
Not a bad plan.
All right, Gib, what about number 15 UCLA at Nebraska? That's such a weird.
Matchup.
Yeah, that's a conference game.
Oh.
UCLA at Nebraska. That's a conference
crazy
game.
talk.
What time's that game?
That is 2 o'clock on Fox in Lincoln. Tickets as low as $26.
Ticket pricing and everything.
Yeah, what other podcast do you get in that in?
There we go. So Nebraska is the favorite, minus 1.5.
No shot. Nebraska's the favorite?
Yes, but barely. I think the home field advantage
Is what's playing into that?
is barely playing into it. But Nebraska's money line is minus 118. UCLA's is minus 102.
Oh, I hate that.
Still
Yeah.
minus money for both teams to win. That's crazy.
Yeah, I was going to talk about that, but I think we'll skip it.
And then the over/under set at 134.5. Just throw that out there.
Snoozer.
Yeah, that. If you'd have told me UCLA was plus money, I'd have took that, but not at minus 102.
Yeah, that's basically you're pretty much breaking even.
Yeah, that doesn't sound worth it at all.
60-yarder.
60 yards to the house or pass?
60-yard field goal.
Field goal.
Bobble the
Virginia
whole
Tech.
They're still down 11.
Well, you got to start somewhere, Dad.
You can't make a comeback without starting to come back.
Minnesota gets the ball at the start of the second half. Look at that.
That was a good ball. Had plenty distance on it. That's interference.
Did you see that kicker that made the field goal?
He tried to touch that ball.
Kickoff? Smoked it.
All right, Gib, I'm looking at South Carolina and Mississippi State now.
All right, so that one, Mississippi State's the favorite by a pretty decent amount. Minus 10.5 on the spread. Minus 630 on the money line. And over-under set at 143.5.
This game being played at Mississippi State at the Hump. This is a tough one. I think this is where you're going to really see how much separation there is in the SEC. You know, South Carolina at the bottom of the SEC race, but have only lost, 3 games?
Yeah.
3 games.
And, they did beat Clemson. We've seen Clemson is a, I don't know, say decent team. They beat Kentucky. 10.5, though, for Mississippi State.
Yes, sir.
I don't know how I feel about that. What do you think, Gib?
I'm going to say something crazy right now, and y'all aren't going to be happy.
Surely not.
Not Gib.
South Carolina pulls out the dub. Get a big upset early in SEC play.
What is their plus money? I'm assuming it's plus money.
It is plus 450.
I love that. I would take that all day.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I'm not hating it. So I'm gonna ride with South Carolina on this one.
Yeah, this may be one where
Yeah, but I think I'm on your side on this one.
Hey, sometimes I get them right. Yeah, I don't like them, but sometimes I get them right.
Not very much.
I like the plus money there. So if you'd have told me plus 150, 200,
Then no.
Would have been worth it.
but plus 450, I'm liking the sound of that a lot. What's the over under on that?
It is set at 143.5.
I don't see the overhitting on that.
No, I feel like that's going to be like more of a defensive game.
Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of like the under on this one.
I don't know if I'd put it in a bet though.
Yeah, I'd probably stay away from it.
Yeah, I do like the South Carolina plus 450 though.
I was gonna say if I got one that pick a couple upsets to happen, that's definitely going to be in like a 3 or 4 leg parlay.
Yeah. All right, Gib. I'm looking at something here. You're not going to see what I'm looking at, but Miami is playing at Virginia Tech tomorrow, boys, and I think we're going to Blacksburg. Tickets as low as $3.
That's crazy.
$3.
I mean,
Miami, Virginia Tech.
that game it's set up to be a pretty tight one.
Is that not a good game? I know Miami just lost their head coach recently,
I mean, Miami's still the favorite.
but we can get in
point.
for $3.
1.5 point spread.
They
Miami's
might
minus
pay you guys
118, and then
Right.
Virginia Tech's minus 102.
That's crazy.
I'm not betting this game at all.
I'm not touching it, but
Tickets as low as $3. That's what now we're talking. All right, Gib. Next game I'm going to look at here is number 4 Duke at SMU. Tickets as low as $136. We're not going to
How is that
Texas.
so cheap?
Yeah.
Duke is the favorite with a 8.5 point spread, minus 375 money line, and the over under is set at 149.5.
What is SMU's record right now?
They are 11-2.
Yeah. Who has SMU played?
Nobody. I think
No
Duke
shot.
wins by 20.
That's what I'm thinking. They've got an 8.5. That seems a little disrespectful.
Very.
I'm going to take a Duke 8.5 point win. I think they win by, 15-20.
Easy.
What do you think about that, Gil?
Duke's starting to come around.
They
They're
are.
looking pretty good.
Yeah, I don't see a game with SMU being tight. I think this is actually SMU's welcome to the ACC basketball.
See ya.
Yeah, I mean, you may have had football this year. You had your little run. But, ACC traditionally is a basketball conference.
Yeah.
And I think this is going to be, hey, you're at the big leagues now.
Get ready.
I mean, I will say one of their notable wins was over LSU, 10-point win.
Don't care about
Those are your
it.
bones.
Don't care
Don't
about
care?
it, Gib. Duke's winning that game by 20.
Easy. I would bet 20.
You would
Bet 20 that they win by 20.
Are you gonna put a
Well-
disclaimer out there? Or?
No, I didn't mean like bet
Oh.
20. I'm saying I bet they
Oh.
win by 20.
Oh, okay.
20 or more.
I thought you were
I
saying.
bet 20 on it though.
While we're talking about it, yeah,
Might as well.
I like it. Yeah, I think Duke's going to win that ball game by a lot.
Oh, yeah.
All right, Gib. Next one I'm looking at, Missouri at number 2 Auburn. 4 o'clock on the SEC network. In Auburn, like I said, tickets as low as $125.
This might be our biggest blowout
It very well could
projection, at least based off the stats. So Auburn, obviously the favorite, minus 17.5 on the spread, minus 3,500 money line,
Oh, God.
and the over/under set at 154.5.
be. Mm.
I mean, Missouri's money line is plus 1,280.
Missouri ain't winning that game.
No.
No.
It could be a freak accident, few injuries.
Which Missouri did beat Kansas this year already. Kansas is not as good as Auburn.
Kansas
No.
kind of fraudulent.
Yeah.
This is bumming.
Yeah, Kansas is not as good as Auburn. I wouldn't bet this game just because I don't feel like there's any value.
No.
I don't like the
Maybe.
17.5.
I would say I could see this easily being a 20-point game, though.
I could, but then at the same time, like, what if they lose by 16?
Oh, I'd be fired up.
Yeah. I mean, that just feels like that spread's a little too far out there for me, personally.
But, yeah, if there was anything I would bet on this game, it'd be a spread or player over-unders.
Yeah. All
I
right.
kind of feel like there are games with spreads that are way lower that should be higher than that one.
Yeah.
It's like, the Duke game.
Yeah, Duke should be more than 8.5.
Yeah.
I really feel like that. All right, next, Louisville at Virginia. Louisville coming off a big win against North Carolina.
Hey, Louisville's looking good.
Only 7 players on the team.
Yeah.
Is the narrative we keep hearing.
Jokey Hepburn is going crazy.
What's our lines on that, Gib?
So, Louisville's the favorite.
Yep.
3.5-point spread. Minus 176 on the money line. And that's a pretty low over-under at 128.5.
No shot.
That's low.
That's very low.
But I mean, if you told me the game was 60-50, I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, I'm
No,
not surprised at all.
That's a fair line.
I think Louisville wins by,
I think
More
Louisville
than-
wins by more than that.
what did you say, 3.5?
Yes, sir.
I think
I'm-
Louisville wins by like 8.
I'm not going to go crazy and say 10 or 20. I'm going to say probably 8.
Yeah.
8 or 9.
And I want Louisville to win this game because, every win they get makes it look better that we beat them.
Mhm.
So I was very
Barely.
happy with the North Carolina win. I think I'd say 8 to 10 on this game. I'd feel pretty comfortable with
Yeah.
that.
Not going to go,
Yeah, I
crazy on
wouldn't
that.
spread it out that far. I wouldn't
No.
say, Louisville 9.5, but I would take the Louisville 3.5 for sure.
For sure. And Virginia's, their coach quit them, didn't they?
Yes, he did, yeah.
Some NIL.
Yep, Tony Bennett walked out the door.
Cannot blame him, honestly.
That's one
NIL's
thing.
ruining sports, college sports.
For sure.
You sound like you're 65 years old right now.
You sound like,
Am I capping, though?
Paying all these players now.
You sound just like Russell Burkhead.
I mean, dude, they're paying mid-quarterbacks $5 million.
I mean,
Come on.
the amount of money that's being thrown is insane for sure. I think the idea of NIL is good, but I don't think the idea of NIL and what's happening with NIL is the same thing.
I think it needs to be more regulated than what it is. Right now, it is the Wild West.
Yeah, whenever you said NIL, I was thinking, okay, well, the players are going to be able to do autograph signings.
Yeah.
They're going to be able to make T-shirts, or if their name is on the back of a jersey, they're going to get a portion of that.
Yeah.
Not, hey, we're going to give you $10 million if you come play for us for the next year.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, they shop around.
That's
Yeah.
out of pocket,
Yeah.
honestly.
They'll
That's basically free agency.
They'll take the cash and then just immediately transfer to their school that'll pay them.
Yeah. Like Quinn Ewers. There's a Big Ten team reportedly offering him, $9 million? $8 million? Something like that?
Dude, that's an NFL salary.
That's
Yeah.
an insane amount of
That's
money.
more than Brock Purdy.
Yeah. Purdy makes less than $1 million a year.
Yeah.
That's crazy numbers.
Could you imagine you're Quinn Ewers, you get $8 million, go back to college, and you get drafted? You
And
get
then you
drafted
get a
to the
pay cut?
49ers, and you get a pay cut?
Yeah. For like 4 years, or
Yeah.
however long a rookie contract is, you get a pay cut for the next 4 years. Like, no, I'm staying until I'm 30.
Why would you leave college?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll
Then you're
take
actually having to
anything.
sign autographs to supplement your income,
Yeah.
Cover your 2-bedroom apartment.
right? I feel bad for anybody that gets drafted to, like, San Francisco.
Yeah.
The cost of living is
Yeah, cost of living is
outrageous.
just outrageous.
Yeah.
Salary gone.
But
Yeah.
honestly, in every city that there's an NFL team, the cost
Yeah,
of
it's pretty
living is
much.
pretty expensive.
Yeah, that's why they need to bring one to Kentucky.
Yep.
Just ruin the
Our cost of
infrastructure.
living goes up.
No, we ain't gonna do that now, Bert.
Well, bourbon's on its way.
Yeah, bourbon booming. All right, Gib. Speaking of bourbon, next game I'm looking at number 12, Oklahoma at number 5, Alabama.
What's that have to do with bourbon?
Yeah.
Well, hold on. Where this ties in is I think Oklahoma fans are going to be having to drink some bourbon to watch this game
That's fair.
because this is going to be Oklahoma's welcome to the SEC
Welcome
game.
to the show, little boy.
Welcome to the show. I think Alabama wins this game. Give me the line.
So Alabama is a 12.5-point favorite
They cover that all day.
at minus 880 odds on the money line,
Alabama beats Oklahoma by 20.
and a 166.5 over under.
But do you
It's
think-
that high because Alabama's going to score 100.
You
Oh,
think
no, dude, Oklahoma's all right.
No,
A
they
fifth
beat
ranked-
they beat you all by what 7?
Yeah.
Beat Louisville by 7. That team, they ain't all right.
They won the little tournament.
Sure, little
What
turn.
was that the battle for Atlantis?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the only reason they won that tournament though, and I'm not a Louisville fan at all, is because that guy got hurt.
Prior. Yeah.
That's the only reason they won that.
I agree.
But a 5, ranked number 5 versus a 12, and the 5 is minus 880.
Because Vegas knows Alabama's going to beat the brakes off Oklahoma
Well, why does AP not know that Oklahoma's fraudulent?
because the AP sucks.
AP don't know nothing.
Yeah.
We
see that
Yeah,
with
they
Thomas.
got no money on the line, do they?
Yeah, no.
And Vegas knows.
They're just like, hey, this sounds like a fun matchup. Number
Yeah,
12,
this
number
is
5.
cute. Yeah.
I'm going to go out and say it, boys. Oklahoma wins this game.
No,
You're wrong.
Alabama wins by 20.
If anything, a
Tying
straight
back
bet
into the bourbon.
plus 580 for Oklahoma to win. There's at least some odds there.
Yeah.
I
If
mean-
you bet $1,000 on minus 880, do you even win anything?
You
They
might
might just
win
tell you to go home.
$9.
$8.80.
Yeah, they literally.
I mean, this is one of those games I would parlay in with South Carolina. Couple high odds. You get a couple upsets, you're looking pretty good.
Yeah,
That's
just drop something low.
You got faith in Oklahoma?
Small units.
I don't have faith per se,
That's a
but
$5 donation.
I mean, I've donated plenty more.
Yeah.
I'll keep donating
I
too.
think they. Where's it at? Where's the game at?
Alabama.
Okay.
In Tuscaloosa.
I think Oklahoma wins it.
No. Alabama wins by 20.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if Oklahoma kept it within the spread, within that 12.5. I'm not saying they got a victory in them, but I'm saying it's going to be a closer game.
That's fair.
Alabama.
Alabama.
Roll Tide. Have y'all seen those
Never
commercials
say
where
that
it's
again.
like...
High
High
tide.
Tide, yeah.
High Tide!
If you're going to go to your team's game, you should at least know they're saying High
Ah,
Tide. All right, guys. Texas at number 13, Texas A&M. I don't know the year of this, but I'm going to spit out a little half fact here. This is the first time these two teams have played in a while. I don't know the year exactly, but Texas A&M, Texas. They used to be a yearly matchup before Texas A&M moved to the SEC. Now that Texas is back in the same conference with them, this will be their first matchup in a minute.
So the odds for this game, A&M is a 5.5-point favorite,
Mhm.
minus 240 on the money line, and a lower over-under at 140.5.
Ooh, what do you think, Gib? I think Texas A&M wins.
I think A&M wins and shows Texas, hey, yeah, you were good in football,
Welcome,
but
to
you're
the-
not coming and running the SEC.
Yeah, I think A&M wins. I don't know. What'd you say? 5.5 on the spread.
Yeah.
I probably wouldn't take any spread on that. I would just do Texas A&M money line. Throw it in the parlay,
Don't hate it.
and that looks like Gib. I'm going to do one just for fun. Number 19 Gonzaga at Loyola Marymount.
I was just looking at that one. I was expecting that one to be for fun. Gonzaga is obviously the favorite.
Yep.
16.5 point. Minus 2,500 money line.
16.5.
I mean,
Do you think it should be higher or lower?
I think it should be higher.
I feel like it should be higher, right?
I would think.
Over-under is set at 153.5.
I really thought since Gonzaga moved, they're not in the same conference, right? Am I speaking truth on that, or am I stupid?
Who?
I'm not sure.
Gonzaga, didn't they move conferences?
Did they?
I feel like they did.
Are they in like the West Coast Conference? They're still in the West Coast Conference, right?
Is that what they've always been in?
I think so.
Are they moving soon then? I feel like I've been hearing something about Gonzaga moving because they keep feeling like they get disrespected when tournament time runs around because they play a bunch of nobodies.
This says they announced they're joining the Pac-12.
2026.
Okay, so that's what it is.
But the Pac-12 is also a fake conference. So
Yeah, there is no
what
Pac-
are they doing
Yeah.
There is no Pac-12 anymore.
there? There's 2 teams.
How does that make sense?
Yeah. Oh, woo! You got an upgrade there, buddy.
I mean, Loyola Marymount, they played Pepperdine recently.
Pretty
Yeah.
big name.
Yeah, I mean, so I don't know anything about, California schools, but Pepperdine is one of those California schools that nobody knows anything about unless you live in the area of it is. St. Mary's, they have a run, once every 20 years?
Yeah.
They'll be a decent team every now and then.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so I mean, Gonzaga needs to make that move sooner than later so they start playing the real competition because there's no reason January 4th you're playing Loyola Marymount.
No.
Yeah, that one.
That's why you
That's
end up
not good
like
look.
you have 30-plus wins each year because you're playing like nobody else.
Yeah, I mean you're playing UC Irvine, UC Davis,
Yeah.
UC Santa Barbara.
Yeah, you're not fooling anybody. It's a fake conference.
Yeah, which I mean, moving to the Pac-12, like you said, I don't know what that gains them.
The games are nothing. We're going to play Oregon State.
Yeah, just play them 6 or 7 times.
Yeah.
Play
Like,
Washington State another 6 or 7.
I'm still not impressed.
No. Yeah, what'd you say that spread was though, Gib?
Give me 1 second.
It was 16 and a half, 17 and a
Yeah,
half.
16 and a half, I believe.
Surely they cover that, right?
I would hope so. I feel like that's one of those games that doesn't have an alternate spread option.
Yeah, I would say that's probably a good,
Yeah, they don't have anything besides
just straight money line or spread.
the spread, money line, and total.
I don't like the total at all.
No, that 153.
No, don't like that,
Not
but
a
I
fan.
would.
No, I don't like it either.
I think I would take Gonzaga at the spread, though.
Yeah.
If you don't win that game by 20, you're bums.
For sure.
Everybody agree with that?
I'd agree.
Yeah. All right, that wraps up our college basketball top 25 for Saturday, right, Gib?
Yes, sir.
Moving into the
NFL.
NFL, Week 18.
Gonna be boring.
Yeah, I mean, potentially the most pointless week of football to ever exist,
Yeah.
especially this season. I feel like this season is worse than previous seasons for Week 18.
Everybody's out.
Yeah, I mean, Saquon resting for the playoffs.
Dude, go break the record.
Tua is concussed.
Do we don't even know who he is
the
anymore?
Chiefs sitting out.
Yeah, the entire Chiefs team is sitting out. The Water Boy's not even showing up.
Anthony Richards is out for the Colts.
Yeah,
And no Thursday night game.
no Thursday. Is Trevor
No
Lawrence?
Monday night game as well.
They know it's boring.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is Trevor Lawrence alive? Has anybody
No.
seen Trevor
Yeah,
Lawrence?
Mac
He might
Jones
die.
season.
Maybe. We don't know.
I mean, I feel like that should be a more talked about topic. Is Trevor Lawrence alive?
It's the
I
Mac
haven't heard
Jones
from
show
him.
now.
He hasn't texted me or anything. So.
No, yeah, I've not heard from him. No phone calls. I mean, you at least think you'd see him on the sideline,
Yeah.
which I don't watch Jag games, so maybe they do show him.
Yeah. That's the knacker.
Yeah. Gib, what are we leading off with for our NFL slate?
So we start off with the Browns at the Ravens. Not really great start.
Gonna be a dog.
Ravens
walk.
are 19.5 point favorite, minus 4,000 odds, and the over/under set at 41.5.
We skipped this entirely.
Yeah,
Minus 4,000.
I wouldn't bet this at all.
No,
But-
I wouldn't touch it.
Hear me out.
I'll hit the under.
What'd you say the over-under was?
41.5.
That's low.
Yeah, it's very low.
What I'm thinking, though, 19.5 on the spread. What are the odds? Lamar Jackson, Derrick Henry, they come in, they get up 17, and then they just pull everybody.
Are they even playing?
Exactly.
Or,
I
yeah,
don't know. if
is
they're
Lamar
playing.
and Derrick Henry even playing? I've not heard anything about them as vocally as I have, Saquon and
Right.
Tua. Is
No.
Lamar Jackson playing?
As of right now, Vegas has anytime score props for Derrick Henry, Zay Flowers, Mark Andrews, Lamar, and Bateman.
Okay, so they're playing.
People are going to get screwed this weekend on anytime touchdown.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure. I'm staying away.
I mean, I'll probably put some in just because I'm an idiot, but yeah, this is going to be a week where people just throw money because you're like, okay, well, Derrick Henry is playing the Browns, and then he plays for quarter, 3 snaps, and then he's out.
Yeah.
Well, I will say, on the Browns side, they're starting Bailey Zappi, and they have 7 players out and 7 questionable. Browns have nothing to play for, and Njoku's out.
Wow.
They just got a tank, I guess.
yeah.
Who's going to score?
So the Ravens just have to accidentally score 3 touchdowns
And
to cover the spread.
I don't trust either team.
To play.
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't trust the Ravens win by 20, but I also don't trust the Browns keep within 20. So I don't.
Yeah, I wouldn't bet this game.
You
at all.
can just forget this game even happened.
You
This
can tell
whole
me
week's
this
gonna be
game.
like that though.
Yeah.
You can tell me this game was 5-0, and I would be like, okay.
Yeah, Lamar Jackson goes 1 for 2 and 17 yards and never comes back into the game. Derrick Henry rushes 3 times for 24 yards, and they win 9-0.
Yeah, it's gonna be. Yeah, this whole week is gonna be just quick and not a whole lot of games to really.
Gonna be kind of
Play.
boring.
Yeah.
All right, so yeah, I'm not touching that one at all.
Yeah. Definitely not.
The next one would be the Bengals at the Steelers. Bengals are the favorite.
Okay, they've actually got to play though.
They have to
Bengals
play.
have to play.
They
They're
ha-
the favorite.
They are the favorite.
You know what sucks though is they have to play, but at the same time,
It doesn't
if
matter
they
play.
if they win or they could win and still lose.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they have to go. They have to have the Broncos lose out.
But they're a Saturday game.
So they have to
They're
win.
going to do their part.
Yeah, they have to win to see what happens on Sunday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's the spread on that, Gib?
Bengals are favored by 2.5, -134 money line, and 48.5 over under.
I would take the Bengals 2.5. Yeah, because I mean that is the Steelers are already in.
Yeah.
So the Bengals have to win to even have a chance on Sunday. Yeah, I would take Bengals 2.5. Who's going to score touchdowns in that game? I feel like every time I bet Jamar Chase, he doesn't. So I'm not going to touch it.
Higgins.
T. Higgins.
Yeah.
Is he gonna go off though? Because he went off last week.
Yeah.
He'll get at least one on.
You
Yeah,
think he's
I
gonna
would
get
say
one?
so.
I would say Higgins and Chase get one this week.
Yeah. I don't
They
hate
need
that.
it.
Yeah, they gotta have.
They're playing.
They're playing to get in.
They're playing for all or nothing right now.
Yeah.
So I can see that double covering Chase for a little bit. Higgins gets open. They're like, okay, well we have to actually acknowledge him. Chase wide open touchdown.
And also too, like I wonder how much plays into like the NFL, like on a week like this. Like, are the Steelers coming out and they're just like, we don't care, or are they still competitive enough to where it's like, we don't want to lose?
It's a rivalry game, so
Yeah.
they're going to be pretty.
Yeah, I mean they're still
They're
going
going
to
to
be
come ready
playing.
to play, but they
How-
don't have as much to win.
Yeah, how hard are they going to
Yeah.
try?
Can't
they-
try that hard.
Are they benching anybody that we've heard of? The Steelers.
I would bench Najee Harris.
Well, that's just because of bum.
Yeah, that's because he sucks. Never again will I draft Najee Harris.
Next season's gonna be a season.
I'm not touching him. Don't care. He sucks. I've never met anybody more inconsistent in my life. I've never met the guy.
For sure.
All right, Gib. Moving on.
So starting out with the Sunday games, the Panthers at the Falcons. Falcons are favorite by 7.5, -400 on the money line, and 48.5 over under.
Surely the Falcons get
I think the Falcons still win. I don't know about the spread,
Yeah, I don't like the 7.5.
but I mean, I wouldn't doubt if they beat them to death. But then again,
The Panthers, ever since Bryce Young has started playing well, they're just up and down.
yeah,
That one week they played the Buccaneers to overtime, and then last week come out and get destroyed.
the Falcons actually have something to play for here. I think they still have playoff implications, and the Panthers. The only thing they have to do is, lose for a better draft pick.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Falcons are still in the bubble.
I would feel a lot better just taking the -400 money line.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, if you parlay enough things in with it, you're
Yeah.
going to get
It
value
would
out
be
of it.
included in the parlay.
I wouldn't do the 7.5 though.
No, because if you told me the Falcons only beat the Panthers by a field goal, I wouldn't be surprised.
No.
All right, going into the next one. Commanders at Cowboys. Commanders are the favorite, 6.5-point favorite. Minus 290 odds or money line and 44.5 over under.
Austin, this is your neck of the woods here, buddy, with the Cowboys. What do you think?
Well, they have nothing to win or lose, really.
They didn't really do bad enough to be in the
So
consideration.
Yeah.
they play themselves out of like a top 3 draft pick, but yet aren't playing good enough to make the playoffs.
That's worst
I
case.
say,
That's worst case scenario.
I say Commanders. They don't really need to win, but they kind of need to win.
What'd you say the money line was for the Commanders?
I
Yeah.
think Commanders win easily.
Minus 290.
Well, yeah, they're going to beat them by 30.
I don't know about 30.
30?
That's
Maybe.
cap. But
Maybe.
the Cowboys are trash.
Yeah.
Maybe
they are.
9. I could see them beating by 9.
Yeah, I would do the Commanders money line at that point. Not do spread, but just do Commanders
Yeah, I
money
wouldn't
line.
touch
for
any
sure.
of that. I wouldn't touch the over/under.
No.
Which I don't really trust the Commanders because, they're in, they're comfortable. I
Right.
wouldn't really see they come out and have like a whole lot to play for.
But they can
Well, they kind of
probably
need to
improve.
win. They kind of need to win.
I don't know if they could get knocked out or not.
I don't know if they could get knocked out, but I think they need to win for
They
better
could definitely
seed.
maybe improve,
Yeah,
play a worse seed kind of thing.
yeah.
We need a screen behind us with all the wild card and seeds behind us.
I know. Well, obviously they're wild card, but
Yeah.
I don't know. I think a win helps them, and they're going to try to get it.
Well, and
Cowboys
plus
don't really
too,
have anything to play for, so
Right. Well, if you're in that point too, you got to think momentum at this point.
yeah,
If you are one of the wild card teams, hey, we need to get a good win under our belt.
we need to keep it
We
rolling.
need to keep it rolling. Yep. I think that's a big point. We kind of talked about that earlier, Biddy, right?
Yeah.
You got to be hot at the right time to win. And you're not going in hot week 18 with a loss to the Cowboys, even if it doesn't matter your seeding for the playoffs.
No, loss to the Cowboys looks pretty bad.
Yeah, that's just like 2 losses, and you can't
Yeah.
really have that going in the
Divisional rival.
postseason.
Too.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's
Big
no way.
rival.
Yeah, they could definitely improve their seeding, but it looks like they've clinched a playoff at this point. But they can improve it and beat a divisional rival. I think they still come to play.
Yeah.
Yeah. Commanders money line. What we got next, Gib?
The Bears at the Packers. Packers are a 10.5-point favorite.
Packers dog walk.
Go,
For sure.
Pack, go.
Minus 550 money line and 41.5 over.
Who all are y'all playing?
I
Are y'all
wish it
playing
was
the
9.5.
Yeah.
I don't like the 10.5.
Yeah,
I think we're
hate the
playing
10.5.
everybody.
Yeah, I've not heard of
I say I've
anybody
heard-
sitting for this one. I don't think we're really in the position to have anybody
I
sit.
said, as of right now, we're the 7th seed in the playoffs.
I mean, they're third in their division, so you're playing for a wild card behind the number 2 spot in the
Yeah.
division. Like,
Yeah.
You got to win that.
yeah,
one.
you have to win. I feel like.
Yeah, what's the money line for the Packers, Gib?
They are minus 550.
I wish that spread was 9.5.
Crazy thing is they make alternates.
Well, they do, but if you start going below the alternate, you start losing money.
I mean, that is fair.
I would maybe alternate this one at a 9.5 just to kind of.
It's still minus 130.
Yeah,
You're
so
not losing
that's
a whole
not
lot of
terrible.
value, but that 1 point means a lot.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, I would go Packers 9.5 on this one.
Yeah. Bears are about
Pack
to drop 11 straight.
Yeah,
They're on a world record run here.
that's crazy. They've lost 10
10
straight.
straight. They started out good, and they looked like somebody, and now they've been nothing.
At Green Bay in the frozen tundra.
Yeah, it's going to be cold.
Go, Pack, go.
Good luck, Bears.
You know what else is crazy?
Let's hear it.
The Titans being a favorite over the Texans.
Really?
Is that our next game up?
That's our next game.
Titans are favored over
Whoa.
the Texans.
Texans are a playoff team.
The
And-
Titans are not.
Titans are definitely not.
Hold the phone here. Will Levis starting week 18 for the Titans.
Playing for his job.
He is starting.
That's crazy because they did better with Rudolph.
Why would you start?
They did
Bone
way
Levis?
better with Rudolph. They would have got a great pick with Levis.
Yeah.
So the Titans are 1.5-point favorite at
That's-
minus 122, and over/under set at 36.5. The Texans are plus 104.
That's crazy
Taking the
talk.
Texans.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't even bet an alternate spread. I was trying to. Give me plus 104 then. Money.
Yeah, I mean,
For sure.
this is a game where I look at maybe some player props. Take the under for Will Levis all day in anything, right?
Except for interceptions.
Yeah, interceptions.
We'll
If
take
it's,
the over.
what do you think his interceptions is? 1.5?
2.5.
Probably 2.5.
Probably 2.5.
I would bet 4.5.
If there was an odds for how many memes are going to come out of the game, I'd bet the over.
Oh, yeah.
Him just making a fool of himself, yeah, I'd say 3.5, yeah.
Yeah.
Y'all boy dirty.
So the next game we got
Bone.
is the Jaguars at the Colts.
Another snoozer.
Jags at Colts. That sounds terrible.
Colts
No Anthony Richardson, no Trevor Lawrence. That's gonna be nap time.
So the Colts are a 3.5-point favorite, minus 198 on the money line, and 43.5 over under.
Tell you what, the only thing I'm looking forward to out of this is the song for the week from the Colts fan.
For
I'm
sure.
so sick of hearing those.
You don't like them?
I don't like them. They're so cringy.
Crazy.
That's insane. That's the worst take I've heard tonight, Bird.
And I've made some pretty wild ones.
That's the only good thing coming out of Indianapolis.
I don't think there's anything good coming out of Indianapolis.
Do you watch the videos or you just listen to them?
I can't even stomach to watch them.
You don't watch
I can't do it.
the nay at the end
I can't do it. That's the worst part.
when he crosses his heart?
Yes, it's so bad. I can't
Wow.
do it. I can't, that might be unpopular, but I can't do it.
I mean, I don't think it's unpopular, but I feel like it's a really, you either love them or hate them. I love them. I mean, I will admit, the first one I seen, I was like, what the heck is going on here?
Yeah, give me about week 5. I've seen 5 of them, and it's like, I'm kind of vibe with this dude.
Yeah. And I see them every week.
Yeah, for sure.
I love them. Just for that, I'm thinking the Colts win.
Oh, for sure. Jags ain't going to do nothing.
No.
Yeah,
What are they going to do?
Travis Etienne? Bum.
Bum.
I'll
Tank Bigsby?
Bum.
I'll take Joe Flacco.
Mac Jones?
Bum.
I mean, how much more do we have to say?
On to the next one. We got the Bills at the Patriots.
That last one was kind of close, wasn't it?
It was. They played
Yeah.
this quick again. They played like last week.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
They played
It was no
Saturday.
joke 2
2
weeks ago.
weeks.
2 weeks ago.
Well, we're going to.
If I recall correctly, actually, the last time we did this game, we said the Bills are going to destroy the Patriots. I think we said, slam the over, slam the spread, and then they won by what? 2,
Yeah.
3, a point.
Yeah.
What's the damage going to be on this one, Gib?
It's
So-
not looking good.
The Bills are a 3-point favorite.
Okay, they've calmed that down a bit.
Yeah.
Then.
3 flat. So that's one of those ones you gotta
You got to really.
pick your poison on.
Where's this game at?
It is in New England.
Now,
Bills
if you'd
are-
have asked me 3 weeks ago, I'd have said that's crazy.
Yeah.
The Bills are minus 164, and the over-under is set at 36.5.
Is Josh Allen playing?
Nobody on the Bills must be playing.
Stuart, can you confirm or deny? Is anybody on the Bills playing?
I don't know. I'm trying to figure it out. I think they're second in the standings, so if they win, they're still not beating the Chiefs out. I don't know if they can improve here. I mean, maybe they can get worse.
I don't think it can get worse behind the Ravens
They can't.
because they're 2 games
They have
ahead.
nothing to play for.
Yeah, so-
they're 2 games ahead of the 3rd seed.
I'm
they
so
literally have
glad we
nothing.
got rid of this week in fantasy.
Yeah,
Yeah,
imagine everybody sits the bench and you're
this is
sitting
your
there
championship
picking
week.
up, the 4th string for the Bills, just hoping they gets 10 points,
Yeah.
and then you win your league. Yeah, if you haven't already got rid of Week 18, then you need to talk to your commissioner.
He's not here.
We
already got rid of
We
it.
talked ours.
Yeah, we're ahead of the curve on that one. Gosh, is Josh Allen playing?
I haven't heard anything.
He's kind of got that dog in him. I feel like he'll.
I feel like he wants to play,
He
right?
He's a tough guy. You know.
He also has the MVP race.
Ooh.
True.
Yeah.
I have a feeling he'll play.
All right, if he plays, I think he will. After you all talk me into it, I think they cover the 3.
I can see that.
If Josh Allen is playing, I'd say they probably win by 6.
Now I don't know why this is any different from 2 weeks ago, but I feel like he wins.
Well,
Yeah.
it's hard to play
I'm not
a
betting
team
this one.
close and
Not
play it
betting this
tight
one.
like this multiple weeks in a row or multiple times in a season.
It is true, and Are the Patriots, what draft pick are they in the running for?
They're very low.
Yeah, so, I mean, at this point, they're thinking, hey, we kind of want to lose
They
this
got to
one,
tank.
right?
Yeah, because
They're top 3, I think.
Yeah, I mean, it's
but a win here puts them out of that.
yeah, yeah. I would take Bills at the 3.
I've heard rumors that they're considering trading Drake May and moving up that number 1 pick and taking Shadur,
Yep.
firing their head coach, and then hiring Dion.
Well, I've seen if they lose here, they're in the running for the number 1 pick. They draft Shadur, trade Drake May for a lower pick to get Travis Hunter, and then get Dion.
That's what I heard. You're
Yeah.
right.
I think they can secure the number 1 pick.
With this loss?
Yes.
Oh,
Because the Giants
yeah, they screwed themselves last
They
week.
choked.
Yeah, they screwed
Yes.
themselves.
and then also the Jags put them in a bad position. Put
Yeah.
themselves in a bad position. I think the Patriots can get the number 1 pick.
Yeah, I'm going Bills. Bills at the 3 points.
I would think so.
What's the over-under? 30?
36.5.
They're expecting a
God,
dud.
Yeah.
Is it gonna rain?
Well, it's New England, and it's
Winter
winter
it's
time.
going to be pretty bad
January.
here. It might be bad
That
there.
might be under.
But I mean,
But-
you got Buffalo. Those are the
They know.
only other guys that go
Yeah.
out and play in the snow. And
Yeah, Josh Allen, they've already had a snow game, and he balled out. So, I mean, he might just want to go out there and play in the snow.
You might.
I mean, I
He'll
would.
put 36.5 up alone almost.
Yeah, I think I
easily.
would take the Bills and the over.
I wouldn't hate the over.
Yeah, I don't hate the over on this one.
Because like you all
Check the
said,
weather first.
We'll
Yeah.
check the forecast, but I still think over.
because like you all said, at this point we're kind of getting into either draft picks, MVP race, records, things like that. You know, I think Josh Allen wants an MVP, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't hate the guy if he tried padding the stats a little bit.
I think we need to do more of that. We need to be stat padding.
Well, speaking of that,
Touchdowns.
We need
yards,
'em.
speaking of that, we'll roll into the next game.
Reception.
Giants at the Eagles.
Well, there will be no stat padding in
No
this
stat
game.
padding
That's gonna be
there.
a snoozer.
Hell, Giants might get another win.
Giants may win.
I'll say the Eagles are a 2.5-point favorite. They're minus 142.
Ain't nobody playing for them.
And
2.5.
I mean, but it's still Giants.
It's
I
Hurts out.
know.
Yeah.
Yeah, who's their quarterback with? Is Hurts sitting?
Who's back up? Pickett? Is Pickett still
It's
hurt?
Yeah, I think Pickett's hurt.
If it was Pickett, then it was
It's
the
that
other
one
guy.
Oh, it was that one guy. He threw the touchdown to
Yeah.
AJ Brown.
Yeah, never heard him before in my life.
He clutched up.
But I think he's still good enough to beat the Giants.
Yeah. But, yeah, I don't.
I would take the Eagles 2.5.
For sure. Divisional rival. Like, same thing with the Bills Patriots. It's still a divisional rival. You still want to beat them regardless.
Yeah.
But at a certain point, are the Giants trying to completely screw up their early picks and end up 4-13 on the season?
That would be the most Giants thing ever, to come out here and win this game for no reason.
Yeah.
But I'm not putting my money on it. I hate
No.
putting my money on the Giants in anything. Unless
For
they're
sure.
getting beat.
I think they're getting beat. I think the Eagles are still going to win without Saquon, without Jalen Hurts, Kenny Pickett.
Yeah, you're not playing the Colts this week. The Colts are bummy.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're playing the Eagles.
Yeah, I think the Eagles still.
I don't think they sit their whole defense.
No, they could.
No.
I
I
think
think they can only set 6, technically.
Oh, well, if you sit half the defense, you're still dog walking the Giants.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would take
Not
the
far.
2.5 on the Giants or Eagles.
For sure.
I would almost say the Eagles can go out there in a handicap, 10v11, and probably pull out
Probably still win.
a
Yeah.
pretty decent win.
They could just start starters in the first quarter if they wanted to and beat them, but they're sitting everybody.
Which, since we're talking about sitting, what do you all think about Saquon sitting the last game of the regular season?
Absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah.
A chance to go down in the history books for a record that hasn't been broken in 40 years.
How many yards does he need?
103, I think.
105.
105. He could get that, like we talked about earlier, in the first quarter against the Giants.
Then sit him.
Yeah, I mean,
You got to at least try and go for it.
You didn't get hurt in the last 2,000 yards. Why would
Right.
you get hurt in the next 100?
Right.
You're
Yeah,
betting
I would.
against yourself. You're betting against yourself, the help, the trainers, everybody. No.
and then like we talked about earlier, to get it against the Giants,
Yeah.
the team that said, what's our identity moving forward? It's not overpaying running backs. That's what our
Yeah.
identity is.
Yeah, do you think anybody's going to pay Saquon
Yeah.
Yeah.
what he's asking for?
If I seen that video, I know he did.
Oh, for sure. I've seen it like 8 times.
Oh, he already ran all over him. I would want to run all over him again.
Yeah.
Like,
Like, yeah, that
That's
be the
disrespect.
game that sets the record. That's what I would want.
I'm playing the whole game, actually.
Yeah.
I'm rushing for
Beating you
300.
in the ground
And
then
4
go into the
touchdowns.
playoffs.
Yeah.
Might even be
Yes,
like, hey,
sir.
coach.
And then I'm waving at the sideline whenever I leave.
Yep.
If I'm him, I'll be like, hey, coach, put me in the Wildcat. Just let me
Let me run it, yeah.
every play, and then we'll occasionally hand it off to someone else.
Give me the direct snap. I want it 50 times this game.
For sure.
I mean, I guess we just got that dog in us like that, though.
We're not tanking or whatever. We're not just resting.
Yeah, we're not resting.
No.
It's like the NBA.
You can rest when you're dead.
Yeah.
These are prime times of his life.
In the record book.
He's not getting any younger.
No,
He's already up there. Get something done.
this is the only time I'll have the chance to break it.
Yeah.
Rolling into the last 1 o'clock game. We got the Saints at the Buccaneers.
Buccaneers by 30.
Buccaneers are a 14.5-point favorite, minus 950 money line. And the over-under set at 43.5.
Okay, so my take for this game has nothing to do with the money line, spread, over, under, nothing like that. This is coming in a player prop. Mike Evans needs 8 catches and like 85 yards to get a fat bonus.
Yeah, I think he gets a mil for
$1
breaking
million.
the catches, then a mil for the yards, a mil for the touchdowns. Now, I think he might have got the touchdowns last week.
Yeah, he needs it's 8 catches and then I'm like 83 or 85 yards.
And I think he might get like 2 mil.
Yeah, it's
And
it's a
they're gonna
fat
get it done.
bonus. So
They got the touchdowns done last week.
yeah,
They didn't even need to, really.
yeah. So I wouldn't look at the money line, spread, none of that. I don't think there's any money to be made there. But I would throw a Mike Evans 8+ receptions and 80+ yards, and there is no player props.
As of right now, there are no player props.
It's getting late in the week to not have player props.
Yeah.
Are they going to deny us that opportunity?
They
I
just
wouldn't
know.
doubt it. Like, yeah, the amount of players you're watching that are nearing contract incentives.
A day and a half away, and they're not even letting us bet yardage.
I'd
That's
say
rigged.
normally at this point, all the 1 o'clock games has everything. All the player props, all
Yeah.
stats, all bets. And then it's usually like the Sunday night game that we're like, okay, we don't have player props. All we have right now are the popular bets. But right
Well-
now, we don't have jack.
If there's any opportunity on any platform to bet Mike Evans 8+ receptions, 80+ yards,
Get it done.
get it done.
Yeah.
I mean, Hillman Baker Mayfield have been talking about this. They've got it lined up. You're not going to screw your wide receiver 1 out of potentially millions of dollars.
Yeah. The Saints don't have Marshawn Lattimore anymore. So,
Right.
I mean, that was like Mike Evans' Achilles heel. Like, that was it. That was the only person stopping him against the Saints. Now there's nobody. So, Mike Evans getting done.
Yeah.
I feel like Baker's one of those guys that's like, Coach, we're getting them this.
Yeah.
Not, oh yeah, Coach, we just need to not like pass them the ball anymore.
We need
Baker's
more
one of those-
stat padding.
Yeah, Baker's gonna be one of those guys that's out there. Hey, I want my guy to eat. I
Yeah.
want him to have it all
And
Kinda-
at home,
because I want him back.
Yeah, and at home.
Yeah.
Kind of like Tom Brady and Gronk. When Gronk was like, hey, Tom, I need one more. He's like, how much you get? I get $1 million.
say less.
Yeah, you get him the 1.
You do whatever you can to get him that one.
Yeah. And I mean, 8 catches and 80 yards for Mike Evans. He gets that.
That's
every
an
Sunday.
average, yeah.
If he's not hurt, he gets that every Sunday.
For sure.
What we got next, Gib?
Wild one.
Snoozer. The Chiefs at the Broncos.
I hate this game. This actually makes me mad.
Yeah,
I'm not a Bengals fan, but this makes me mad.
Yeah, this just like it shows how scared Kansas City is of the Bengals.
Chiefs are plus 410.
Yeah.
Chiefs-
Broncos minus 550. If that tells you anything.
That's disgusting.
They're doing everything they can to not let the Bengals in there.
Broncos are a 10.5-point favorite. It's absurd.
I mean, that actually, it bothers me.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's your own divisional rival, and you're more worried about the Bengals sitting there by.
Yeah, I mean, they're
Scary.
depriving us of a good game.
Let them win.
Patrick Mahomes,
Scary.
Joe Burrow. I mean, that's a game that we want to see in the playoffs, and they're going to take it away from us because they're going to do everything in their power to lose to the Broncos.
I mean, the Chiefs haven't been able to score over 31 points this season. Burrow does that in a half.
Yeah,
The Chiefs are bony.
Well, who do we think wins this game now?
I guess money on Broncos because their Chiefs are going to get exactly what they want.
Yeah, if it was
Exactly.
anybody else,
There's no shot they let them
No.
not lose that.
Which Chiefs backup, Carson Wentz. What are the odds? He goes into business for himself. He's like, hey, I want to play in the NFL some more. People need to see me ball out. And he goes out there and throws for like 400 yards.
then the Bengals pick him up.
I feel like the Chiefs receivers would just swat it down.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like at a certain point, Andy Reid would be like, just don't run.
The Broncos
Stand right there. We'll turn it over.
Broncos are also going to want to beat them just because,
Yeah, we're beating the
15-1
Chiefs.
rival,
Yeah.
your Chiefs and all this. They're still going to want to win. And I really don't think Carson Wentz can throw against Patrick Surtain. And, the Broncos have a good secondary.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And, that's the thing. The Broncos are legitimately playing.
Yeah.
Because they
also
have to win.
Yes, exactly, yeah. They have to win this to make the playoffs.
They should just forfeit this game. The Chiefs should, honestly. Because that's what they're going to do. They're going to let the Broncos win. Broncos are going to win, get into the playoffs.
Yep.
Yeah, they should. They should just forfeit at this point. Just say, well, we don't want to play.
Yeah.
We don't want to risk injuries.
I'll put money on the Broncos money line, even at $5.50. I know it's kind of crazy in theory, but
Yeah, you added in with some other things. It's going to.
I don't know, but the 10.5 the spread. The Chiefs might make it close to look like they're trying. No, you're not trying. You're trying to lose. You don't care.
Yeah, this is probably going to be like a. What do you think? Like a 20-10.
Literally, they have the over/under at 40.5, so they don't expect basically both teams score about 20, and that's it.
Yeah, I could see this like 21-10, 17.
If Patrick Mahomes struggles to
14.
score 20 plus, gosh, what do you think Wentz is going to do?
Yeah, right. It's blasphemous. Is what that is.
I can see this being a 10-6 game.
Yeah,
For sure.
all to get out of playing the Bengals.
That's the chance of playing the Bengals.
Yeah, you're not even playing.
Yeah, you're not guaranteed to play them.
Tragic.
All right, rolling in to our next game: the Chargers at the Raiders.
Chargers. Money line.
Yeah.
Chargers are the favorite, 4.5 point favorite. They're minus 210 on the money line. The over/under set at 40.5.
Which, if this was a game you could do player props for, you may take a look at Brock Bowers, leading all-time rookie in catches.
Yeah, receptions.
Yep. So he's been balling out this year. He needs like 6 more to break the tight end catch record. Not just as a rookie, but as a legitimate tight end.
That'd be awesome to go out and do it as a rookie.
Yeah.
I'd definitely be padding those stats.
Right. There's been a ton of great tight ends in the NFL, and you have the potential to break one of their records in your first year. Looks pretty good. But I still think Chargers are going to win.
Yeah. Chargers, they got playoffs to play for.
Yeah, they've got a 6'8" Justin Herbert back there, apparently.
Next game is
Allegedly.
the Seahawks at the Rams. The Seahawks are a 6.5 point favorite at minus 290 on the money line. And the over/under is set at 38.5.
That sounds
That's
terrible.
Yeah, that's really weird. I feel like I don't know.
I wouldn't touch that game with anything in me.
I don't think so. I don't feel comfortable with anything there.
What we got next,
Skip
Gib?
that one?
Yeah.
Go ahead,
On to the next one.
On to the next one.
That one.
Well, this one's not much
Might
better.
ought to skip this one too.
What is it?
Miami at Jets.
Wow.
The Jets are a 1.5 point favorite. Both teams are in the negative on the money line. And over/under set at 38.5. The Jets are minus 116. Dolphins are minus 102.
I wouldn't bet this game either. I think this game has more talking points than betting points.
Does Aaron Rodgers play?
Does Aaron Rodgers play?
Because supposedly they've already announced that they're going to ready to move on from him and Devontae Adams.
Yeah. So does Aaron Rodgers play?
60.
They're both older than dirt.
Yeah. Does he come out and is this his last year playing football?
I don't see this being his last year. He's going to want to go out with a bang.
Does he come out and beat the Dolphins and he thinks that's his bang?
He might.
There ain't too many bangs left in his tank.
No. And then Dolphins, likely to not play Tua?
Yeah.
But they have playoff implications. They're in the hunt.
They are in the
They
hunt.
need
Man, how do you not play? Is he hurt or is he just?
He probably
He's
sees
hurt.
like 8 footballs at this point.
Yeah. I'll do it.
Yeah, I don't like either of these. it'd be the most like Aaron Rodgers thing ever to go out here and win,
And just ball out.
screw up the Jets draft pick, and then retire.
That'd,
Yeah.
be, so
Go to
fun.
another
That'd be
team.
so funny.
I mean, honestly,
It
I
would
could
be.
see it happening because he's been getting upset about all the criticism.
Yeah, I could see him coming out, throwing for 3 touchdowns, and then going on to the Saints or something.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
I'm
wouldn't.
staying away.
Yeah, I wouldn't touch that game at
Regardless.
all. On to the next one, Gib.
Second to last game, we got the 49ers at the Cardinals.
They're pretty banged up right now. The Niners are
Yeah,
The Cardinals are not really banged up, but they're just not that
not
good.
good.
The
What are their
Cardinals
favorites?
are a 4.5-point favorite.
really.
Minus 215, and the over/under set at 42.5.
Both of them are eliminated from playoff contention, divisional rivals.
Yeah, there ain't a whole lot to play for besides just Brad.
Does James
Rice.
Conner play?
Probably not.
I mean,
I wouldn't think so.
he
If he
didn't play
does-
last week.
No, if he does play, he's getting 8 yards and he's leaving. Yeah, no, Connor, no. He's lucky he made it this far. There's no way he plays another game.
I
So
can see the
I
49ers
think
winning
Niners win.
this.
Yeah, Niners at plus money. I mean, yeah. I mean, the Cardinals have proved they're nothing without James Conner, so
Yeah, I would take the 49ers in this.
I would take the Niners.
Depending on value, either Niners money line or, if you weren't feeling too confident about it, just hit the spread.
They're plus 4.5, so, I mean, if they even lose by a field goal.
Yeah, you still
cashes.
win.
Yeah.
I would maybe do the 49ers spread plus 4.5.
Yeah. I don't hate that.
All right, Gib, what's our last one?
The last one is by far the best game, and a game that has a lot of value and meaning
Yeah.
for it. The Vikings at the Lions.
That would be the game of the week on a normal week. And then you take into account all the terrible games we've talked about tonight. That's going to look like grade A football compared to everything else on Sunday.
And correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't this for number 1 seed?
I think, are they fighting for the division here?
I
I
believe
feel like they're fighting for the NFC
so. They're both
North for
14
sure.
and 2. And yeah, as long as if the Vikings pull it out, I wouldn't be surprised if they jump up to number 1. It's a 15-2 team.
I think so.
Yeah.
I think
And the
Vikings
Vikings have
might win that game, boys.
Where is that game at?
And Detroit.
Lions. Yeah.
Ooh.
That's
I don't
gonna be a doozy.
Lions.
I like the Lions there.
They're good. Yeah, I know their secondary's beat up, and their whole defense is beat up, but I don't know.
They just come
I
out
think
and
they're
beat
still a
everybody
better
up,
team.
though.
I don't know if Darnold can put up numbers that Goff and them are putting up right now.
Biddy, what do you think about old Sam Darnold?
I mean, he's all right, but I wouldn't trust him.
Yeah, that's about right.
That's a
You lose
quality
your
take.
playoff game or something?
I mean, I wouldn't say that, but
It wasn't his fault.
he might throw 2 or 3 interceptions. You never know.
Yeah. Yeah, I would take the Lions here.
I think
What's
so,
the
too.
money line
Minus 154
for the Lions? Yeah, I would take the Lions there.
Lions spread is minus 2.5. I think they win by a field goal at the very least.
Sure.
Yeah.
The Lions never kick field goals; they just beat people to death.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know if the Vikings can keep up.
Yeah, I could see this being like a 42-30 something.
Like, in all honesty, though, when was the last time you seen the Lions actually take, like, a 30, 40-yard field goal?
No, they just go for
They-
it.
yeah, never.
Down.
Just 4th
They
and
just beat
15,
them
like,
out,
you know
yeah.
what? We'll go for it. Throw it to a lineman, and he'll score.
Yeah, they struggled a little bit in like the first half against the Niners, but
But then they got it going.
They poured it on them still.
Yeah.
I mean, that's exactly what we'd expect. Their defense is beat up, but the offense gets in rhythm. They can score 30 out of nowhere.
Yeah.
And it's not a ball game anymore.
Now, what about the running back room? Anybody sitting for that one? I wouldn't think so, right?
I wouldn't say so,
think so.
I mean, that sounds like all hands on deck type of game for both teams.
for sure.
I would say.
Montgomery's still hurt, so that's
Right.
Yeah. But
Yeah, Jameer Gibbs,
Gibbs
anytime
will into that
touchdown.
on his own. Yeah, I would say so. Who else? Yeah, if Montgomery's out, then Gibbs gets all the work.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, I like that a lot. I would take Lions.
Yep.
Well, that wraps up our NFL slate, unless anybody has anything to add.
I would say I might just add in an Addison anytime touchdown on that one.
he's been
Well,
balling.
I'm
out.
not playing Burke this week, so you don't got to worry about it.
That's fair.
Why are you not playing Burke this week?
No, let's not talk about
It's
that.
over.
Let's change the subject.
Because the season is over. And so after this Sunday, the regular season of the NFL will be over. We'll have to figure out some other things to talk about once the playoffs roll around. Getting to Super Bowl season, it's going to be coming up quick, boys. I think we've got some good stuff planned here, though. We've got a lot of off-topic discussions that we can get into, right?
Oh, yeah.
And that leads into our Lil Wayne song bracket.
Let's go ahead and tell them the tiebreaker.
So, we've got everybody here tonight. Tiebreaker, No Love did pull out the victory over Nightmares at the Bottom. I still don't know how I feel about that. Personally, I don't love it, if I'm being honest with you. It's kind of like
You
a
got
4.5
no
points.
love, that's what you're saying.
Got no love for it. I really like Nightmares at the Bottom. I'll die on that hill, apparently.
You won't be alone.
I appreciate that, Gil.
I'll listen to it on the way home. Boy.
Yeah, I mean, you'll realize, dang, maybe we
Like,
should have.
you know what,
The
this is-
intro's banging. I'm not gonna lie, but no love.
All right, so this will be round 2. All right, so we're back. We've got all of our first round matchups completed. Be round 2. Drop the World versus Georgia Bush.
Drop the world.
Drop the World.
Easily.
All right, this one's going to be a little tougher, maybe. 3-Pete versus Go DJ.
Go DJ.
Go DJ.
All right, Go DJ. I was agreeing with that, but,
Go DJ.
That's my DJ.
Bop. All right, Rich as F, Bill Gates.
Bill Gates.
Bill Gates.
Rich as F.
I'm
I
gonna-
like it, but it's
Rich
not Bill
is-
Gates.
Bill Gates is different.
I've been
Yeah.
yamming that for like a month now.
Yeah, it goes dumb.
Well, I'm not going to try to plead my
Bill
case here. It
Gates.
doesn't sound like, but I'm agreeing with Gib. Rich as F, man.
It's a good one. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah,
it
it
beats out a lot on that page.
Can I persuade you anyway here?
No,
No,
it's not Bill Gates though.
I don't know
Bill
about
Gates is
that one.
different.
All right, Mr. Carter, gonorrhea. There's a lot more silence here than I thought there should have been.
Probably gonorrhea.
I'm going gonorrhea all day.
Yeah, I'd probably go.
Yeah. Gonorrhea.
I was going to go Mr. Carter, but it sounds like I'm
You
beat
need
by
to
a
get your
lot.
music taste checked.
Yeah.
What you got, Stuart?
I've seen gonorrhea.
Okay. So that wraps it up pretty easy. I'm really liking doing this Lil Wayne bracket.
Me too.
Something different.
Yeah, something different. Switches it up a little bit. We've got, more upsets coming, I really feel like, though. Even though Nightmares at the Bottom did get beat out, No Love is a 6 seed.
That's gonna go pretty far for me.
Yeah, and sky's the limit. That's looking at a 6 seed as well. I think the biggest snub on the list, a 13 seed, I Miss My Dogs.
That's gonna go far.
Yeah, well, we've got some great upsets brewing in this bracket. I really feel like that's going to wrap it up tonight for us, guys. It's been the Kentucky Prime Picks podcast. We appreciate everybody listening. Have a good night. Have a good weekend. Hope everybody makes some money.
Good luck.